Hello friends, welcome to insulin part 2, function of the insulin, objective, physiological actions or function, some general aspect, then carbohydrate metabolism, protein metabolism, fat metabolism, ion transport, growth and development, bone formation, and last some miscellaneous functions. In general, insulin is hormone of abundance or hormone of energy storage. So when excessive nutrient is available, it store carbohydrate, fat and protein. So it is known as hormone of abundance or hormone of energy storage. Because it do hypoglycemia, it is also known as hypoglycemic hormone. It promotes the glucose transport in the cell, mainly in the skeletal muscle and adipose tissue. It increases the permeability of the cell membrane for amino acid and ions like potassium and phosphate. It raises intracellular metabolic enzymes necessary for the storage and other reactions. It alters the rate of the mRNA translation, which is a long-term effect. Carbohydrate metabolism. Insulin promote rapid uptake, storage and utilization of glucose. Utilization means glycolysis by all the tissue of the body, mainly muscle, adipose tissue and liver. So when glucose is available in excess amount, first of all, it increase uptake of this glucose by the tissues, use the glucose for the energy purpose, and if excess glucose is there, it do store of the glucose. Now here we need to understand that muscle prefer fatty acid for energy purpose over glucose most of the time of the day, as low permeability of glucose, except two conditions. Number one is moderate to heavy exercise. Here actually there is increase in glucose transporter 4, that is GLUT4, which require less amount of the insulin for entry of glucose. So during moderate to heavy exercise, muscle use glucose as a source of energy. Second, after heavy meal, during this condition also there is increase in blood glucose, so muscle use glucose as a energy purpose over fatty acid. Rest of the time muscle use fatty acid, and when excess glucose is available, it do glycogenesis mainly in the skeletal muscle and liver. Genesis means synthesis, glyco means glycogen. So glucose in excess form after glycolysis is stored as glycogen up to limit of 3 to 5%, which is equal to the 5 to 6% weight of liver, or you can say almost equivalent to 100 grams of stored glycogen. So in short, it favor carbohydrate store. it inhibit gluconeogenesis and glycogenolysis, means breakdown of glycogen, and gluconeogenesis means production of glucose from non-carbohydrate component. So both are inhibited by insulin. Now certain tissue which are independent of insulin for glucose uptake, mainly brain and red blood cells. Others are liver, intestine, cornea, lens and epithelial cell of kidney. Now insulin do glycolysis, it increase glycogenesis, it inhibit gluconeogenesis, inhibit glycogenolysis. So insulin either inhibit or stimulate certain enzymes required for this reaction. So insulin stimulate glucokinase enzyme, which is responsible for conversion of glucose into glucose 6-phosphate, which temporarily trap glucose inside the cell and responsible for the glycolysis. Other enzyme stimulated by the insulin which help in the glycolysis are pyruvate kinase and phosphofructokinase. Insulin increase glycogenesis because it stimulate glycogen synthase enzyme. Insulin inhibit glycogenolysis, means breakdown of glycogen into glucose, because insulin inhibit phosphorylase enzyme or liver phosphorylase enzyme, which is principal enzyme responsible for breakdown of glycogen. And last, it inhibit gluconeogenesis because insulin inhibit pyruvate carboxylase, glucose 6-phosphate, fructose 1,6 biphosphate and other enzymes which are responsible for gluconeogenesis. So insulin inhibit all these enzymes. So overall it do glycolysis, glycogenesis, inhibit gluconeogenesis and inhibit glycogenolysis. Protein metabolism. Insulin increase amino acid transport into the cell, mainly in the muscle, and the amino acids are mainly valine, leucine, isoleucine, tyrosine and phenylalanine. Insulin increase protein synthesis. It is mainly anabolic hormone. It increase translation of mRNA as well as increase the rate of nuclear transcription, which are responsible for new protein synthesis. It prevent protein breakdown. So insulin is anabolic hormone and inhibit catabolic effect, that is inhibit protein breakdown. In last slide we have seen that it reduces the gluconeogenesis and thus conserve the amino acid in the protein store of the body, because if there is a gluconeogenesis, all the amino acid will be converted into glucose. But because insulin inhibit gluconeogenesis, it conserve amino acid for protein store in the body. Fat metabolism, that is it acts as a fat sparer. when excess carbohydrate or blood glucose, it is stored as a glycogen, but after some limit, insulin itself inhibit glycogen synthesis. Now this additional glucose is converted into fatty acid in the liver, and in liver it is packed as triglyceride, mainly in the VLDL, very low density lipoprotein, and in chylomicron. So VLDL and chylomicron are the packages of the fat that is stored form, that is triglyceride, and which is transported in the blood and stored as triglyceride in adipose tissue. In brief, this is in nutshell when excess carbohydrate is available. Now see, additional blood glucose, this glucose converted into a pyruvate, pyruvate converted into acetyl coenzyme A. Now when excess glucose is used for energy, that is in citric acid cycle, the excess citrate and isocitrate ions are formed. This ion actually activate acetyl coenzyme A carboxylase enzyme. Acetyl CoA carboxylase enzyme. This enzyme acts on the acetyl coenzyme A and convert this acetyl CoA into malonyl CoA, and which is the starting of the fatty acid synthesis, and thus glucose converted into pyruvate, pyruvate converted into acetyl CoA with help of the enzyme acetyl coenzyme A carboxylase converted into malonyl CoA, and gradually after few steps fatty acid is synthesized in liver. Insulin promote the glucose transport in fat cell to synthesize very less amount of fatty acid. But more important is the large quantity of this alpha glycerol phosphate, which supplies the glycerol that combine with the fatty acid to form triglyceride, which is stored form of fat. Now we should understand the mechanism of lipoprotein lipase and hormone sensitive lipase. First, lipoprotein lipase. Now this lipoprotein lipase is stimulated by insulin, means action of this lipoprotein lipase is stimulated by insulin. Now what is action of lipoprotein lipase? We have just discussed that triglyceride, which is stored form of fat, transported in the blood via chylomicron and VLDL. This lipoprotein lipase located on the vessel wall of the skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle and adipose tissue. I am repeating, lipoprotein lipase located on the vessel wall of skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle and adipose tissue. So when this VLDL, chylomicron passing through the blood vessels of this tissue, there is a presence of lipoprotein lipase. It breaks this triglyceride into free fatty acid and glycerol. Now this free fatty acid is taken up by the cell, mainly adipose tissue, and inside the cell again it is reconverted into triglyceride. It bind with the glycerol, right? Free fatty acid bind with the glycerol to form triglyceride, which is stored form. So this lipoprotein lipase first of all split the triglyceride, which is in the VLDL and chylomicron in the blood. It break it into free fatty acid and glycerol. Now free fatty acid can be easily taken up by the fat cell or cardiac or skeletal muscle, and in the fat cell mainly free fatty acid combine with the glycerol, and again triglyceride is formed and it is stored in the adipose tissue. So now fat is not moving in the blood, it is stored in the fatty tissue, mainly in the adipose tissue, which is not harmful. If triglyceride is moving in the blood, then it may produce atherosclerosis, that means narrowing of the blood vessels. So lipoprotein lipase is very helpful and it is stimulated by insulin. Hormone sensitive lipase. This enzyme is inhibited by insulin. So what is the basic action of this hormone sensitive lipase? It acts on the triglyceride which is stored form in the adipose tissue. It causes breakdown of this TG, convert this TG into free fatty acid and glycerol. So increase free fatty acid level in the blood. So this action is inhibited by insulin. So insulin promote fat storage. But when insulin is deficit, this hormone sensitive lipase get activated, which do lipolysis of fat and increase blood level of free fatty acid, and chances of atherosclerosis increases. Ion transport, it increases potassium transport via increasing activity of sodium potassium ATPase pump into mainly muscle and adipose tissue. So basically it activate sodium potassium ATPase pump and moves potassium ion from extracellular fluid into cell. So practically concentration of potassium ion in the blood decreases. So hypokalemia. So when we are injecting or giving insulin, we should take care of hypokalemia. It also transport phosphate ion, growth and development. Insulin hormone potentiate the action of growth hormone to promote the growth. In short, here insulin plus growth hormone means 1 plus 1 is equal to 11. So it is very important for the growth of the childhood and adolescent period. During this period, if insulin is deficient, as it is in the type 1 diabetes mellitus, physical growth is less as compared to normal child or adolescent. It also stimulates many growth factors like IGF-1, insulin like growth factor 1, In the growth hormone, we have studied this IGF-1 is mainly concerned with the bone and cartilage growth. It also stimulates IGF-2 and other growth factor like epidermal growth factor, nerve growth factor, and relaxin. So this is function or physiological action of insulin related to growth and development. Bone formation. It helps in the bone formation as it stimulates IGF-1, which is responsible for growth of bone and cartilage during adolescent period around puberty mainly. Other actions, it inhibits glucagon hormone because when blood glucose level is high, insulin is released and hyperglycemia inhibit the glucagon hormone. So insulin inhibit glucagon hormone, indirect effect. Second, it has anti-diuretic action. So this is from today's lecture, function of insulin hormone. Thank you. Jai Swaminarayan.